Hi everyone, my name is Joshua Matanzima. I'm a researcher at the University of Queensland in Australia. So in this short video, I would like to give you an introduction of my book that I'm writing about the cultural aspects of conservation at Lake Kariba. So this book was funded by the National Geographic Impact Grant in 2024. It involved research in Southern Africa's Lake Kariba in 2025, and I have commenced writing the book in January 2026. So the title of the book will be The Cultural Aspects of Lake Kariba, Zimbabwe, a picture-rich account for kids. This picture-rich text is meant for local pupils in primary and secondary schools in Zimbabwe and beyond. It is meant to provide a basic introduction to the Zambezi River and the Kariba Dam construction. Many people have heard of the Lake Kariba in their childhood and adulthood, but they lack basic information about the lake. When you tell people you are from Kariba, they often want to hear more about what it is like as a place and how is it like to live there. Near a large body of water with crocodiles and hippos, as well as other terrestrial animals such as elephants, buffaloes, impalas, lions, leopards, and many other dangerous animals. So this illustrative book aims to answer some of the questions that people have about Kariba. This might prompt them to visit the lake for other purposes such as research, tourism, exploration, and even more learning. The book uses pictures to describe the history and culture of the two historical waterscapes, the mighty Zambezi River and the Lake Kariba. Before the lake was created, the lake was a river which was home to hundreds of thousands of Tonga and Shona communities. The author of the book, Joshua Matanzima, was born and bred in Kariba town. He lived close to the Lake Kariba as a child and adult, fishing, swimming, and earning a living from it in different ways. He grew up told many stories about the Zambezi and the Kariba Dam construction by his grandfather, who was part of the African team that was involved in the dam wall construction. His father, Kalulu Chisenga, was labor migrant who came from the northern Zambia, the then northern Rhodesia. Joshua Matanzima also taught in Nyawoza and Gacha fishing camps or villages where he interacted with a lot of fishermen. Interacting with local school kids and their parents, the fishermen, he enriched his knowledge about local history and culture. This brought him into closer contact with rural ways of life in the Lake Kariba region. The author also spent time in rural areas surrounding the lake as an adult, researching the cultures and everyday living of the Tonga and Shanga people for his tertiary studies. The stories told in this book draw from all these childhood and adulthood experiences. As I mentioned before, this book is a direct outcome of the funding received from National Geographic Society's Impact Grant, grant number EC 115063C24, for the project incorporating local cultural knowledge into conservation at Lake Kariba, Zimbabwe. The Lake Kariba is the largest artificial lake by volume. It lies 1,300 kilometers upstream from the mouth of the Zambezi River on the Indian Ocean, along the border between Zambia and Zimbabwe. It is 223 kilometers in length and 40 kilometers in width. The Zambezi is in Agricultural Zone 5, which is hot and dry and receives very little rainfall. The lake was a direct flooding from the damming of the Zambezi River at the Kariba Gorge in the 1950s. The construction of the Kariba Dam and the flooding of the Zambezi waters resulted in the displacement of around 57,000 people, including the Tonga and the Shona people. The Kariba Dam was constructed for the sole purpose of electricity generation. However, over time and space, it has attracted other uses, including fishing, conservation, tourism, and recreation. On the Zimbabwe side, where the writer is originally from, the lake is surrounded by the human communities in Kariba town, 41 fishing camps and villages, and rural communities. For nature conservation purposes, the lake is also surrounded by wildlife parks, game corridors, and safaris. These facilities attract trophy hunting and recreation from foreign tourists and hunters in the Kariba environments, which contributes to the generation of revenue locally and internationally. Some communities are either adjacent to or within game parks, which is a source of conflict between humans and animals. For example, the Nyaminyami Rural District is close to Matusadona National Parks. Animals encroach homesteads, tampering on their backyards, gardens, in Kariba town and fishing camps or fields. In the case of rural areas, animals also damage properties and kill people. For example, crocodiles and hippos destroy fishing gear, including nets, rods, and line and fishing canoes. The number of people killed by both aquatic animals and terrestrial animals in the lake continue to rise. Thank you very much for listening to this third-person introduction audio that I decided to record for the audience who are following my research funded by the National Geographic. Thank you very much.